welcome to The Upgrade. I am Kate, and I'm here with my wonderful boss, Seymour.
Seymour, and I'm here with my even more wonderful and everybody's favorite customer service executive, Kate. I just want to give a shout out to your team over there at customer service, Kate. Sanya and you and the others just do such an amazing job all day long.
Thank you.
Anyway, right now, fever pitch. What is the word? Fever pitch excitement for November the 19th. MAGFAST Power Moves. It's the one we've been waiting for, right, Katie?
Yes, I'm very excited. And don't forget, it is 4 p.m. Eastern. You will have multiple chances to register. You probably already are registered if you're here. So
Yep.
Thank you.
And by registering, you're in the draw for some prizes. We'll talk about those in a second. I think that, because I've just spent the last few days, last few weeks on and off, but over the weekend and the last few days, working on the kind of the notes and the slides and everything for this. It's not, what is it? What isn't it? It's a very special conversation with you guys about how we take MAGFAST to the next level. And the announcement we've got to make, I think, is the most exciting thing from the company level that we've ever done. We're calling it MAGFAST Power Moves because we think what we're announcing is a little bit of a power move, and we'll give you a sneak peek at some of the stuff that we're going to be doing in 2021 as well. And Kate loves to spend the company money and give away the prizes. So what are you giving away this time, Kate?
Okay, so our third prize is going to be $500 in cash, $500 in MAGFAST gear.
Okay, so $1,000 altogether. Yeah.
Yes, $1,000. Second prize is $1,000 in cash, $1,000 in MAGFAST gear, so $2,000. And first prize is $2,000 in cash and $2,000 of MAGFAST gear.
Okay, and to the person who wrote in the other day saying, "Why are you giving away prizes?" Because this is the kind of thing that grown-up companies do. They do things to encourage participation, and it's one of the things that you do to grow. And then, as I say, we're going to be announcing something on this is the 19th. Yeah, so we're announcing on Thursday the 19th, which is exactly, yeah, you're right, 1 week before Thanksgiving. And then the amazing thing that we're announcing on the 19th, the doors open when?
At 4 p.m. Eastern on Thanksgiving.
4 p.m. Eastern on Thanksgiving Day. And if you want to be a part of that, it'll only take a couple of minutes. We just wanted to make a time when we knew that everyone would be there and at home, place sometime that was memorable. 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. We'll do the times in the other time zones as well. As I say, it's pretty exciting. It's not what you think. And I hope, I invite you, please, to listen really carefully when we explain all about it on the 19th. Because as exciting as it is, I don't think there's going to be room for everybody. So we're going to tell you all about it on the 19th. We will have a replay available, but it'd be great if you could join us for the live event. And then you have a few days to look at it and listen and see if it's something that you're interested in. All right. So as I said, so it's going to be 3 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. Mountain, 1 p.m. Pacific. Hawaii,
11 a.m. Hawaii.
11 a.m. You know where I come from in England, we have this thing called 11s. Have you ever heard of 11s?
Nope.
It's very. I mean, I'm American citizen, as you know. I'm actually British and American by birth. Now live in New York, but in England, in the middle of the morning, you take a few minutes off for a cup of tea and what we call a biscuit, a cookie. At 11 a.m. It's called 11s.
I want to do that.
Rather pretty good, isn't
great.
it? It's like the mid-morning version of. You remember what's the old Bond movie where they go off into space?
I don't know. I don't think I saw that one.
I'll remember what it is in a minute. I feel like I'm having a moment, not remembering it. But when they meet there's always the seminal scene in every Bond movie where they meet the bad guy. Like for the first time, Bond comes face to face with the bad guy, and this guy goes, Mr. Bond, you have arrived just in time for your nation's one seminal contribution to world civilization. Afternoon tea. I don't know where that riff came from. None of these things are happening at 11. Well, I guess in Hawaii, the presentation is taking place at 11.
At 11.
At 11 and I guess here on Eastern time, it will be taking place at afternoon tea time, 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Eastern. All right.
And don't forget 9 p.m. in London.
At 9 p.m. in our good old London. Right, so right underneath the screen here, we've got links both for the presentation on November the 19th and also for the doors open on the thing that we're announcing, which will be on Thanksgiving Day. All right, you may want to set an alarm for the thing on Thanksgiving Day itself, because as I say, it's something that I know I may be wrong, but I think quite a lot of people are going to want to do it, and for various reasons, it's kind of not everyone's going to be able to get in. So, so put a note in the calendar to make sure that if you want in, you're front of the line. All right, enough of all that. I was just over the weekend, Kate. I was going through some stuff, and I came across one of those. Every now and then we do. It's been a little tough this year because of the COVID and the meeting and everything. But every now and then we do one of those things where we kind of get the members of the company together and we kind of do medium and long-term planning and this, that, and the other. And companies often have like sort of statements of purpose. Kate, you've seen these things, statements of purpose and core values,
like a
and
mission statement or something.
Mission statement kind of thing, to boldly integrate superior technologies while super serving our customers on a global scale, kind of thing. And it's always nonsense. And it comes out of some, and what happens is they tend to get written, and then because they don't come from the essence of what the company is, nobody really knows what to do about it, and it goes up on posters, and then everyone's like, "What's that silly poster?" But we did an exercise, one of these a while back, where we tried to draw out what some of our core values isn't quite the right phrase, but I would say sort of guiding principles, maybe, or some of our guiding principles. But it came out of like, who are we already? Like, what's special about us already, rather than what do we think we should be that we should write down and put on a poster. And if we haven't, can we just splash it up on the screen? This was the thing that I found. Don't try to read it there, because I'm just going to go through one or two of them, because I thought we could just put them up on the screen quickly, and Kate and I could discuss them, because I think it'll just give you a slightly more nuanced feeling about who we are and why we do what we do. And the first one is build and cherish strong bonds. Build and cherish strong bonds. Where? With our customers, first and foremost, amongst our team, all right? Because Kate's amazing, but she is but one of, I don't know, what are we, a dozen, 50? I mean, and the extended team is now kind of several dozen people working in different organizations who are spending some of their time on this. And of course, suppliers as well. So what does this mean, build and cherish strong bonds? Because I think it would be fair to say, Kate, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, you've worked in a number of different places now. You worked in one or two startups and had various other gigs along the way. Would it be fair to say that there's sort of something about this place, right? There's a kind of, you know what I mean?
I love
it's sort
it.
of,
yes.
Yeah.
No. It's very, very positive, and it's just a very positive environment, and everyone gets along and likes each other. So I'm happy.
Right, and we try to, we try to do, both as individuals, as in a company, we kind of try to, have people. We've had a few times. I'm not going to give any examples because it's sort of personal. We've had a couple of times when someone has had some challenge in their personal life, and either members of the team have individually rallied around to help them, or as a company, we've maybe done some small thing to kind of to help sort them out. And I think that's important, because when the going gets tough, and this is tough. This is, as you know, this is taking way too long. It's much harder than we thought. And it can be exasperating and exhausting. I mean, Kate, you've worked crazy long hours sometimes when we've done these events, right?
Yes, definitely.
And I'm here to tell you that Kate and the others, 99% of the time, do it with, totally cheerfully and not exasperated, and I mean exhausted, but not exasperated by that. And I think that comes because of the work that we do to build strong bonds. And it's obviously easier to build strong bonds with people when you're working with them every day. It's also easy to ruin relationships with people when you see them every day, right? Because if you get the tone wrong, but we try to do that with you guys by being, I think pretty transparent about what we're doing, by doing the upgrade. We've been calling it the upgrade with slightly better production values for a few weeks now, but we've been doing updates literally for years. I think we're up to over 150 now. And that's part of, we want to have this, we want to have this strong relationship. It's why we put a lot of money into customer service as well, because we want you to know if you're gonna be crazy enough to stay with us on this journey, we want you to know that you can get a response when you get in touch with us. All right.
We've actually had several people write in, like at least a dozen people say they actually don't know what they're going to do when we start shipping because they look forward to the upgrade.
Well, I actually over this last weekend was meeting with a very dear friend of mine. Like, we've known each other for 25 years, something like that, and we were talking about exactly that thing about about as we move from being a kind of pre-shipping company to a shipping company, what does that mean? And it actually means we should be doing more of this kind of thing, like maybe not in exactly this format, but more just stuff where we're out there, we're talking about things, we're answering questions, and they call it content. Like, what's your content strategy? Right, and that can be social media, and it can be videos, and but it's just like being part of the conversation. And I think that there's some stuff that we can do there that's amazing, which is and we're working to, you can see we're working on making these streams like a bit more and more live and so on. And one day there'll be the 24-hour MAGFAST network. You'll be able to, any time of day or night, you'll be able to tune in. Kate or me, someone will be there doing a demo, telling a joke. The MAGFAST network coming soon. Check local listings for details. All right. So the next thing on that chart just now was choose to delight. Choose to delight. And it would actually go to everybody, but particularly customers, right? So as we work on the products, you've heard me talk over and over again about things like LED-licious, right? But there's a huge difference in every product category, right? There's a huge difference between, like, my wife, Amy, is a chef. She's trained as a chef, and when she was even younger, she worked in restaurant kitchens and so on, right? So she's trained and she knows that. So everyone will relate to this. You don't have to be a trained. There's a huge difference between a knife that you just love cooking with and one that's kind of a bit because it's just not such a great shape in your hand and it always feels a bit subpar and so on. There's a big difference. There's the difference between, you think of your wardrobe, Kate. I'm sure if you're like most people, you have a wardrobe like it's packed to the brim with too much stuff. And the truth is that when you go through it, out of all those items, there's a handful that you just love, and many of them that are just kind of like that. Yeah. And so we want to delight our customers, so that the things, when you get these chargers from us, they're only chargers. They're not the crown jewels, they're not the cure for cancer. They're just chargers, but we want them to just be delightful because we believe that serves you better. And we also believe that there's not much of it in our market at the moment, and therefore it'll be something that when you're delighted, you'll be saying, "Oh my God, stuck with these crazy people while they develop these products, and now they're fantastic. You should check them out." Because word of mouth, of course, is the very best kind of publicity. This won't come as much of a surprise, but we figured that one of the things about us. Not so much me, but you get a lot of this from Kate. Now, I think from all of us is sharing the passion, right? There's a lot of, we have these meetings every day, right, Kate, called the Daily Huddle.
Yes, every day.
The huddle, every day, 10 a.m., 1 hour before 11's is every day, Eastern time. We have this called the huddle, and pretty much everyone on the team gets together. Everyone speaks for about a minute and a half. Kate, as you can imagine, sometimes very verbose, sometimes runs very long.
I think that's you.
So I have to I have to make up for it by going short. But we get the whole team together, and there's just, obviously, everybody has slightly off days, but in general, it's just this group of really cheerful people, really passionate about the work. And I hope, I'm sure if you've been in touch with customer service, you've got a little feeling of everybody there's sort of passion for what it is that we're doing. So share our passion, infectious energy in words and actions. Now, what about consider all the implications? This is an interesting one. One of the things, it's a kind of good life lesson, actually. Think of a good example of this. It's like that the quote, we've just had an election on which I will not comment, but there's that phrase, elections have consequences, right? And so very, very small differences, things that seem like a very small difference, like in the case of election, a small number of votes in a certain state can influence election. Something that seems small in terms of like the way that a web page works, and we've certainly been guilty of this. Like if it's not working properly, then it frustrates people. Then if people are frustrated, then they're not as happy. And if they're not as happy, one or two people will go and write something grisly online. And we felt like we once in the early days, we had someone who wasn't a customer, who we'd never met, who was like really hardly anything to do with us, but he'd had a bad experience on one of our web pages, written something awful online. And we once had a bank say, well, I read what said online, so we're not going to work with you. And I'm like, that's insane. So I think consider all the implications. What we try to do is to, when we're making a decision about something, is try to do multiple steps down the road, which is generally not the way that humans work, right? We tend to kind of go, creme brulee, yes, please. Right, because creme brulee seems like such a great idea. It actually is a really good idea. Do we have some creme brulee right after this, please? Because it seems like such a good idea in the moment, doesn't it, creme brulee? But it's something that is good only in the moment. And what is it? A moment on the lips, a lifetime on the hips, right? And so what we try to do is to sort of, as best we can, because we're only small, is to make the investments sort of today that will play in the longer term. Trying to think what some examples of that. Sometimes we work on technology pieces that are just a pain in the today and cost money today, but then over time we find that the website becomes more stable and so on. So SEO, search engine optimization, is something where about a year ago we were like, you know what, this is something that if you're not working on it, you're crazy. And we worked on it, and month by month, there seems to be very little benefit from it. But over time, we just do much better in the search engines now than ever we did before. And then the final one is embrace every challenge, because if nothing else, a little bit like 2020 has been for the world and for kind of from. By the way, did you see, Kate? Did you see SNL? I guess it's almost 2 weeks ago. The fortune teller sketch with Kate McKinnon as the fortune teller. It was absolutely brilliant. I'll set it up for you. So they were the premise was a group of friends going to the fortune teller, and it was set in something like November 2019, right? And so Kate McKinnon is the guy who's going, yes, young lady, yes, I know, I do see your future. It's April 2020. You're wiping down your groceries with Clorox. Like, what?
That's funny.
The rather as 2020, and it's going to continue to next year, rather as we live in very challenging times at the moment, the more that one can see, and this isn't, one has to be very careful because so many people have suffered so very badly, but the more that one can take a problem and try and reframe it as being a challenge, so much the better. And again, we don't have this isn't the moment to kind of go too deep with it, but over and over again, as a business, we've had actually examples that you will have seen if you've been following us over time. The example, because I never have it here when I want to talk to you about it, but the original design for the cable, right? We were told that it wouldn't pass Apple's MFI certification, because a lot of the time it's difficult to tell until you actually make something, and they look at it. And this at the time seemed like this terrible setback, but it actually gave birth to the cable that you always hear me talking about, saying that I'm so in love with, and something you've seen me, kind of kissing it. And now we're getting a design patent on it, and it's one of the things I'm most proud of. But it only came about because of this big, problem, which is we've been told that we'll never get through MFI with the cable, and so I think sometimes we try to take everything that's a challenge and take a deep breath and think about, okay, how can this become an opportunity? How can this become a challenge that we rise to and become better from, rather than just a problem that gets us stuck? Because we've certainly had plenty of things that have gotten us stuck over time. It's again, if you've been with us for a while, you know some of those. So anyway, was that interesting at all? Just one or two of the little kind of underlying underlying themes. And what I'm proud of in taking you through all of those is, it wasn't that we sat down and said, what are 5 things that we need to become good at around here, and then we made a chart and went off to try and do them, which is kind of hard to do. But it was rather the other way around. We were like, well, there's clearly something good going on around here. Let's try and sort of distill what it is. And that list isn't perfect, but I think it gives you a little bit of a flavor. Yes?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Every week, or every time we do the upgrade, we give you a secret keyword. How does it work, Kate, right? You get the secret keyword and you go to magfast.com/fun, and you will be able to enter the secret keyword in the little secret keyword slot, and you'll get 3 extra entries into our $1,000 draw. Every month we do a draw for $1,000 worth of cool electronics, including MAGFAST stuff. This is separate than the other prize draw we mentioned earlier on, which is for November the 19th. Yeah, so we do a $1,000 draw. It's just a fun thing for everybody, and you can get each time you take the secret keyword and you go enter it, you get an extra 3 chances to win. So if you do that, 2 or 3 times in a month, you get an extra 6, an extra 9 chances to win. So today's top secret keyword is
values.
Today's top secret keyword is
values.
Values, VALUES. Just go to magfast.com/fun. You'll see the names of previous winners there. We've got a couple of people who haven't confirmed yet, I think. So not all of the names there. I think the last couple of months, folks haven't confirmed yet, but you'll see the names of previous winners are all listed out there. And this month, it could be you.
Yeah, and don't forget, we have had someone win because they put in the secret word. We can tell which entry helps them win.
Thank you. Yeah, there's different ways of winning, and people have won because of putting in the secret word. So today's secret word, this week's secret word is values. All right, let's just go through the dates one more time. So it's November the 19th, 4 p.m. Eastern. MAGFAST Power Moves. It's the one we've been warming up for. What are we going to do, Kate? Sneak peek at some of the big moves for 2021.
Yep.
We're going
to talk about something very important that people ask us about all the time. And it's going to be a big deal.
It's a big deal. Plus, just for registering, which I think you did by clicking through here just now, and by showing up, it could be you that wins. This is separate from the keyword we just talked about. $500 in cash, $500 in MAGFAST gear. Second prize, 1,000 cash, 1,000 MAGFAST gear. And first prize, Kate?
$2,000 cash and $2,000 of MAGFAST gear.
And Kate will personally be sending these to you. All right, and then over Thanksgiving weekend, 4 p.m. Eastern. Check local listings for details. 1 p.m. Pacific and so on. The doors will open on the thing that we're going to be announcing 1 week earlier. So Thanksgiving Day, 4 p.m. Eastern. Put that in your. I think there's links underneath. You can put it in your calendar. All right, that's it. Thanks for sticking with us. I hope that was interesting to look under the hood a little bit about some of the guiding principles that we have.
I think it was.
yeah, thank you for being part of this and for changing charging
For good.